for now, I'd like to get to know Robin a little bit more. Hey, Robin, what were you like as a kiddo?
I was extremely shy. I know it's hard to believe, right?
Totally.
I was extremely shy and very kind of held in, really self-conscious. And
Mm,
maybe part of it was because I was like old when I was young. Like I just had knowings and things that I had no context for and no idea what to do with. But having said that, people from childhood have told me, I didn't know you were so insecure. I didn't know you were so shy. So, I'm not sure how I came off, but that's how I felt inside.
mm.
And I just kind of loved to play. I loved games. I loved kickball and tetherball and all that. I liked playing, and now I like playing again.
It's all come full circle. Do you think that you became less shy because you felt like you had this passion to teach people? So you felt compelled that you had to be kind of more outgoing?
Partially, and partially just gaining experience and beginning to be less obsessed with what anyone thought about me or allowing myself to make mistakes and not being so harsh, on myself. And then I remember vividly at one point just decide I was traveling and I'd been traveling with my best friend. I was 19 and I was still pretty shy then and still pretty insecure then. And and then she went home and I decided to continue traveling by myself. And I thought, oh my God, I'm not going to make a single friend. I'm not going to talk to anyone. And I remember very consciously making a decision to pretend that I wasn't shy. Like no one knows me. And so that was kind of my first experiment in stepping into like a fuller expression of myself. And also I got into theater and that helped immensely, right? Because I'm putting myself out there. But so all of the above. But I think I could net it down to saying um, the commitment to become my real self kind of brought me out. And at the same time, honestly, I still love alone time. I love quiet. I love silence. So I am a both and, like most of us are, you know.
I could definitely relate. So, do you kind of ascribe to the whole "fake it till you'll make it" type of philosophy? Then,
Sometimes
yeah,
if it expands your story and allows you to come more fully into yourself, then yeah, even things like if someone says, oh, it's so, here's a common one, right? It's really hard for me to ask for help.
mm,
And like there, a place like fake it till you make it can be really, pretend it's easy.
mm.
Pretend it's a natural thing. Or one thing I love, and I learned this, I got this first idea from astrologer Caroline Casey. She said, yet. It's
Mm.
or until now, right? It's been hard for me to ask for help until now, right? So whatever combination of those things that helps you to more fully be who you really are and hung up, less hung up on trying to be something you think you need to be to fit in or trying to be, God is forbid, perfect, uh, or or just being overly concerned with the opinions of others and trying to fit in. It's more about claiming yourself is so important, you know. And then you
Wise words.
naturally find where you belong. So that comes back to what you said about finding like my path, finding where I belonged, right? That obviously that does help everything.
I too was a incredibly shy person, and for the longest time, I was like, I'm going to have a podcast, and then I did have a podcast. But for the first 5 years of my podcast, all of the episodes were other people's recordings. Mainly because I had this like insecurity about actually putting myself out there and being a host, because I never looked at myself as like, say, a host per se. I was always more like the behind the scenes type of person because I was very insecure and whatnot. And I was like, the only way to get experience at this thing called interviewer is by actually doing it. So I'm so thankful that I finally actually ended up doing it. And I guess in some sense of the word, I was faking it till I make it. But like, I'm having more fun now with HerbRally than I ever have playing
Yeah,
host.
and you are good at it, and
Oh,
I'm
thanks.
glad you know that I think it's harmful to push ourselves, but it's healing to stretch ourselves.
Perfect. Yeah. Well said.